Right, hello everybody and welcome to Yin. I always thank you for joining me. It's afternoon for me. I'm going to start today in the Restorative Goddess. I have 2 blocks and a bolster. As you can see, I've just propped the bolster up on the 2 blocks. If you don't have these items at home, you can use anything to prop yourself up. The idea of Restorative Goddess is to allow yourself to open, so your upper body is actually going to drape over top of this bolster. So whenever you're propped on, you're just going to make your way down and back and let it go. Wherever you are, just think about your shoulder blades drawing together on your back as if they were actually moving to allow a little more expansion through the front body. We're going to start here for about 5 minutes. I'm going to use a timer. Everything in Yin is typically held for 3 to 5 minutes. We're looking to find a little more opening than we generally do in any type of yoga class, getting into the fascia, surpassing the muscle. In order to stay in some of the more difficult postures, you really have to learn how to breathe or learn how to send your focus to your breath. So as we recline here, just noticing that the mind most likely has already started to wander. The stories generally start pretty quick. It's running through the mind. Just play with deepening the breath. Bringing your inhales and your exhales out of the nostrils. And then lengthening the inhales and lengthening the exhales. As we stay here steady and breathe, just feeling the body open a little more. Maybe feeling some tension ebb away from the shoulders. Maybe even noticing some release in the hips. Find a slight constriction at the back of your throat, finding your Ujjayi breath. Just making your breath a little audible. The inhales nourish, and the exhales are long and fluid, and we use those as a release, letting go of any stress, any negativity, anything you cannot control at this moment in time. a little while longer here. Feeling the breath move, feeling the belly fill up, and enjoying the release. And then we'll slowly just bring some awareness back to the body here. So we are propped, or I'm hoping you're propped. So just moving very gently so you don't fall off of your props. Just moving in any way that comes natural. Most likely it's very subtle movements through the wrists and the ankles. And then we're slowly going to make our way away from our props. So whoever feels natural for you to do so, and just moving everything out of the side. Bolsters, blocks, pillows, whatever it is you were using to prop yourself. We'll make our way down onto our back. And just bringing the feet onto the mat, gently windshield washing from right to left. We'll just do a very gentle spinal twist here to get started. We'll take our hands straight out from the shoulders, palms face down, and just allow both of your knees to drop down to the left while taking your gaze to the right. Maintaining that beautiful breath. Really think about your breath moving down the side body. So our knees have gone to the left, so we want to bring the awareness to the right side of the body. If you're tight, you're going to feel this everywhere. You might feel it into your hips, up to your lower back, right into your shoulder blade. And then slowly coming through center and just allowing your knees to continue the other way. So your knees are going to go right now and your gaze is going to go left. And again, see if you can bring your awareness to the one side of your body now, as if the breath was just moving down the left side. And then we're slowly just going to make our way over into a child's pose. So coming onto your right side, your left side, whatever feels natural. Gently rolling over, and it will be a wide-legged child's pose. So it's another great place that you can use a prop if you choose. The knees are nice and wide, the big toes touch, and we come down into a typical child's pose. But if you want to try something different or you want something a little more supportive, the bolsters are if you're using your throw pillows from your couch. They can come in between your legs, in between your body, and then as you come down, you just rest yourself down, the arms come forward. You still get the same shoulder opener. It's just not as intense on the body. You're going to have one ear on the prop if you have decided to use the prop. And we're halfway through, I'm going to tell you when to switch just to make sure we get the stretch through both sides of the body. So if you've used the prop, just closing the eyes, even if you haven't used the prop, close the eyes, bring yourself back to your breath. When the mind wanders, always knowing it's very normal, just bringing yourself back to your breath. Nice and deep on the inhales, long on the exhales. Maybe even counting your breath, especially if you have a problem keeping yourself in the moment. Your belly is touching down onto your bolster. It's a great time to ensure the breath is fully moving through the body because when the belly fills up, it's going to push into your bolster. And on the exhale, you're going to feel the release. We're about halfway through here, so if you are propped up on one ear, you're just going to slowly switch ears, press down, and come back to your breath. As soon as we start moving, we typically lose the breath, the mind starts wandering, always normal, just bringing yourself back. Just a few more deep, deep breaths. And then slowly we're going to come out of this. So we're just going to gently and slowly roll ourselves up, removing any props that you may have used. And then we'll come through a couple rounds of cat and cow, just to find a little movement through the spine. So taking your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. Move with your breath. Think about dropping your belly into that cow, taking the gaze up. And then on the exhale, rolling yourself into cat. So that nice arch. Inhale, rolling forward. Think about the entire spine being used here. And exhale, going back. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then just coming to a neutral spine. And we're going to make our way down onto our belly, coming into some shoulder work here. So as we make our way down, we're going to start on the right side. So we're going to extend the right arm out. We're going to take our left arm down beside us, and we're just going to roll ourselves over onto that right shoulder. What you do with your legs is completely up to you, and everybody is different here. You want to make sure you're moving in a way that is not causing any pinching in your lower back. So a lot of people like to take their back foot onto the floor, onto the mat, and almost tent it there. If you have a lot of space, you can play with drawing it back straight, You can keep them on top of each other. There really is no right or wrong. Just think about the breath or the tension, the tightness in the shoulder and breathing through that. If you do have more space, though, you're welcome to take your left hand up and over. The more that you bring yourself onto your right side, the more weight you're going to add to the shoulder and the more intensity you're going to add to the twist. Notice if your mind really started to wander once we came into a more intense posture. Most people are extremely tight through the shoulders. So we don't want to be sitting here thinking this whole time, oh my goodness, when is this going to end? We want to be able to fully breathe through the entire time we're here. So always recognize that in terms of how deep you come into an opening. And if you come into something a little too far and it's extremely uncomfortable, maybe even painful, you're going to bring yourself out of it. Your body is always your best guide. The more you can actually breathe through the intensity, through the tightness, through the tension, the more the body will actually open for you. When we are trying to just grin through it or grit our teeth through it, the body actually becomes tighter and you're not going to find more space that way. Just a little bit longer. And then slowly bringing yourself out of this side. So as a release from a shoulder posture, bring yourself through center, moving very slowly. Drop both your hands down underneath your forehead and then gently drop the forehead down. If you've picked up any tension in your lower back, you're going to gently rock through the hips. If you're looking for more movement through the lower body, you're going to bend your knees and gently windshield wash from right to left. You want to make sure that you're coming back into the other side in a very neutral space. So take as long as it needs for you to find that neutral. And then we're slowly going to bring ourselves into the other side if you're ready. So you're going to extend out through the left arm and you're going to bring yourself over onto the left side. And quickly probably realizing that both sides of your body are completely different. It's always interesting to notice that. Another thing that we tend to do is we always think the body's going to be the same as the last time we stretched in the same way. And the body tends to be different every time we get onto our mat. Just accepting that. If you're really tight and you find that you're finding it extremely hard not to tense, play with smiling. When the tension gets to be too much, it's just proven that smiling releases the tension, actually releases all of it. Smile, breathe all of it through the tightness. a little while longer. And then we'll slowly bring ourselves out of this side. And again, just coming back through that center space, stacking one hand on top of the other, and gently allowing the forehead to come down. So the spine is in a very neutral position. It is just in line. You're welcome to move through the hips, through the lower body. And then we're going to stretch the shoulders a little more in a different way. So this time we're going to extend out through the right hand like we did, but we're going to bend at the elbow. You're going to take a gaze out at where your elbow is. I want you to bring your elbow up slightly, about 45 degrees from your shoulder. Palm is down. And then we're going to flip ourselves over. This gets more into the deltoids and is probably much tighter for most people. So again, you're going to listen to your body and come into this wherever feels good to you, or wherever you can come into it. Anything in yin is recommended that you come in where it's pretty easy, and then just take stock of how you're feeling and then choose to move deeper if you wish. Use the breath to allow you to stay here. Always remember your breath is your power. Your breath is how you can stay in anything that causes discomfort. We will not stay in this one as long. Just a little while longer. A few more deep breaths. And then we're slowly going to make our way out of this side, coming back through center, stacking the palms, and gently moving in any way that feels good. Just one more side. Bringing ourselves to the left, so extending the left hand, palm down, bending at the elbow, gazing out at your left elbow and bring it up 45 degrees from the shoulder. Then dumping your weight over onto that left side. And again, always that recognition that one side feels much nicer than the other. And shoulders for most people are extremely tight. Shoulders also hold a whole lot of nerve endings there, so a lot of times we get tingly. See if you can breathe through whatever tension you're feeling. Breathing fully, just like we did at the beginning. Those full breaths that move through the entire body. Notice when the mind starts to wander, especially in difficult postures. Breathing, just a few more breaths here. And then we'll slowly make our way out, coming back through center and releasing, stacking. And then we're slowly going to make our way off of our bellies here. So we're just going to bring ourselves back up to our hands and our knees. A few rounds of cat and cow again. Just find that release. Stacking, inhale as the belly drops, the gaze comes up. And on the exhale, rounding in the other direction. Inhale, the belly drops, the gaze comes up. Exhaling the other way. Feel the breath move, feel the shoulders move. One more round. And then coming to a neutral spine. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. We're going to bring ourselves into a bridge here. I'm going to use a block to come into a supported bridge. Again, if you have pillows, they work wonderful. You're going to bring your feet down about hip distance apart. You're going to firmly ground down through the heels. And you're going to lift up through the hips, just enough to slide a block under. So now if you're using a block or something that has different heights, the height is always up to you. You have the lowest, the second. I'm going to choose the second. In a yin class, I would never recommend going to the top of a block because you're probably just not warm enough through the spine. Once you feel supported here on your pillow, whatever you're using, gently walk both of your shoulder blades underneath your chest. You want to feel the expansion through the chest as you do that. Gently allow the hands to come out, palms up, and then the feet can stay exactly as they are, or you're welcome to play with opening more. The opening more is just taking your feet wide and finding expansion. Once you open, the front of the body will open a lot more, and this is a little too much for some people. So we're going to listen to our bodies and come into this in a way that feels good to us. And again, like any other posture, if you come into it and it's too much, you're always welcome to work your way out of it slowly in any way that feels good. back to the breath. Just always that awareness that if the mind has started to wander. Taking stock and noticing if you're picking up tension, which means that you've gone a little too far in your opening. Tension in this posture most likely will be in the shoulders. So if you're feeling the shoulders start to tense and you've come up high, maybe think about dropping yourself down a little bit lower for the remainder of the time. Just a little bit longer. And then we're slowly going to make our way out of this. So if you're fully expanded, you're going to slowly start bringing one foot in and then the other. When both feet are evenly on the mat, grounding through the heels and lifting the hips up just enough to remove the props that you've used. Maybe choosing to stay for a minute or two. Think about aiming your hips up towards where the wall meets the ceiling. Just grounding through the heels, feeling a nice stretch through the front. And then when you're ready, gently allowing yourself to roll down. And we move nice and slow, especially when we're working with the spine. Dropping down, opening, taking your feet about mat distance apart and allowing the knees to fall in towards each other. Just find a few deep breaths here. Nice release. And then maybe gently rocking from right to left, that windshield wash. Can be slow, can be fast. Feel it through the body, through the hips, one hip at a time, one side at a time. Just savoring the feelings. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring ourselves through center. We're going to come into a reclined butterfly. So we're going to take the soles of our feet together and gently allow the knees to open. We are going to stay here for a length of time. So make sure you're choosing something that is not too intense for you, or maybe choosing right from the beginning to take 2 blocks, 2 props, 2 pillows, and propping up the outsides of your thighs. It will take a lot of the weight out. Propping yourself when you're tight especially is going to actually allow you to open more. The body will release when it is fully supported, when it feels like it is supported. So you're coming into this wherever you feel like coming into it. Where does your body feel like embracing this today? Hands are wherever feels good to you. Hands on the belly helps us bring our awareness to breath because you generally can feel your breath moving through your body. If you want more shoulder opening work, you're welcome to take the hands overhead, straight up, goalpost arms, anything that feels good. Always remember your body is the best guide. What is your body asking for right now? to wander when the stories begin. Just coming back to your breath, the inhale and the exhale. Remembering at any point you can decide to prop yourself if where you've come is a little too much. We have just over a minute left. A lot of times the tension in this opening is caused by the glutes. The glutes naturally engage when we open or when we bend. So it's finding the glutes so you can allow them to release. Send your breath to the tightness to find the release, the expansion. And always remembering the body is much stronger than the mind. And then we're slowly going to make our way out of this one, just gently closing the knees up like a book. And most likely windshield washering or staying in neutral with the knee or the feet wide and the knees falling in again. Where does your body wish to go right now? Just find a little movement. Maybe you want to start bringing your knees in towards your belly and rounding yourself up, trying to kiss your knees or take your forehead to your knees. Only remember if that feels good in your body. That's a pretty intense hip opener, so we want to let it go. And then we're just going to come into a gentle legs up a wall here. So I'm going to use a block again. This time the block is going to just tilt my pelvis. Pillows again are wonderful. Just bringing your feet back in, grounding through the heels. This time your block is going to stay on this lowest height. And all you're doing with your block this time is making sure it is fully underneath your sacrum to make sure you're comfortable. Dropping down when you're ready, gently drawing up through one foot. And if you feel good there, then drawing up through the other. Again, all the block does, or your prop is intended to do, is to slightly tilt your pelvis so this is easy to stay here. Should not be a lot of work involved in legs up a wall. Not in this version anyway. We're just looking to release, relax. Most people are going to actually feel the blood start to drain. We obviously don't spend much time upside down, so it just helps with circulating the old blood, and then when we bring things down, we get it all, it's all been circulated, we get new oxygenated blood to our limbs. This is said to be a wonderful posture for women having any type of menstrual problems, pain, cramping. Just closing the eyes and enjoying. to the breath. A lot of times we stop breathing. We don't really realize we have, or we stop fully breathing. Utilize your lungs. See if you can get into the diaphragm. Just enjoy the sensations of breath. Feel yourself replenish, release. So for the last little bit here, I'm going to ask you to take your hands up if you wish. So if the hands are coming up, the palms are facing each other, fingers can be close or wide. Think about drawing your shoulders underneath your chest though. Just make sure they didn't splay out. We want everything to stay stacked on top of each other, like in alignment. And just allow the blood to drain from the hands and the arms as well. Coming back to the breath if you've lost it, always coming back to that breath. Deep inhales, long exhales. Just a little bit longer. And then we're gently going to release that. So allowing the hands to come down and then very slowly bringing the legs down. Maybe one at a time, dropping one down. Just notice how that feels. And then gently dropping the other. Once both feet are down, grounding through the heels, lifting up just enough to remove your prop. Gently dropping down and slowly windshield washing from right to left. We're going to make our way through thread the needle now. This is a great posture for a strap if you are tight, or even if you find it's just a little hard to stay in thread the needle for the length of time in the yin class. So when you're ready, taking your right foot up, then pushing up through the heel. You want the leg to be nice and active. Drop the active leg down on top of the left thigh. If you're using the strap is going to go behind the left thigh. All the strap does is lengthen your hands here. So as you draw your right knee towards your right side body, if you can easily grab onto the back of your thigh, you're not going to use a strap. But if you're rounding to do it, if your shoulders are coming away from the mat, if you're rounding up through the tailbone, when you use a strap, it's going to allow you to come deeper. If you are using the strap, I really want you to keep your elbows on the mat and your shoulders down. So we're not hunching to come deeper. We're not ever rounding to come deeper. And then you're going to breathe through this sensation. Ideally, you're looking to bring this stretch into the outside edge of your right thigh. Most people are very tight through this area as we sit way too much. Noticing if you've stopped breathing. And then once you're breathing, really make sure that you have the space in the spine. So the shoulders stay tall the entire time. The tendency here is the shoulders to start creeping up because it's a lot of work to keep them down. But we want to keep them down because we want the spine to stay down. We want the spine to stay long. If you stay here and you find you have a lot more space, you're welcome to take your hands and interlace them on the top of your shin as well. But again, we're not sacrificing the length of the spine in order to come deeper. The benefits of a stretch of any opening are the length that your whole body has to feel to get into the stretch. So the tailbone stays curled down, the shoulders stay on the mat the entire time. The back of your head should also comfortably be on the mat. And the breath should be flowing, just noticing the breath. A lot of times the breath becomes very shallow or extremely stagnant when we've come into something too far. Your breath is what's going to take you deeper into any posture, any opening. Keeping your right foot active the entire time helps to protect the knee joint. A little while longer. And then we're slowly going to make our way out of this side. So just gently releasing, slowly taking your right foot up and off, and gently windshield washing. Again, the windshield wash is for you to find your release. So it is not always necessary, and sometimes you want to move in a different way. Whatever works in your body. And then we have one more side here. So we're slowly going to make our way back through center. We're going to take the left foot up this time, find the engagement, push up through the heel and down through the toes. Drop the activated leg over and find your version of thread the needle on this side. So most likely in thread the needle, you're going to come into this the same way you did on the other side because this is a really large area of the body and we want to keep it the same, as even as possible, even though the body is different. But again, take stock of your torso as opposed to how deep you can bring your knee. Are your shoulders down evenly on the mat? Can you feel your sacrum nice and flat? Is your tailbone pointing down or is it rounding away from the mat? Is your left leg active? All little, small, subtle movements, but all of them very important, and they work together to help us find the space we're looking for. Noticing if the shoulders have started rolling up towards the ears, draw them down. Notice if the breath has become shallow. Just a little longer. And then we're slowly going to make our way out of this side, so gently dropping down, releasing the left foot, and again, moving in anyway. I'm going to windshield wash, but I always encourage you to find something that feels good in your body, or listen to your body if this is not what feels great. And then we're going to come into one more spinal twist. I'm going to offer pulling the cat's tail here. So we are going to gently allow both of our legs to drop down towards the right while taking the hands out from the shoulders again. This time you can have palms down, or maybe you want to play with turning your palms up. Listen to your body. Take your gaze away from the knees. If you're here and you feel that you really don't feel anything, you're more than welcome to play with pulling the cat's tail. With the cat's tail, you take your left hand to your left ankle and maybe pull back, maybe extend out through the right leg. It's really up to you what feels good to you. Sorry, I've done that wrong. It's your bottom leg. So your left hand would be on your right ankle and you'd extend out through your left leg. Felt a little odd, I apologize. And the gaze always goes away from the knees. But this is just an option. Any spinal twist that feels good in your body. We're not going to be long, just a few breaths. Feel this move through the entire body if possible. And then slowly releasing that side, slowly coming through center, maybe the windshield wash again. And when you're ready, the knees are going to drop down to the left, the gaze is going to go to the right. You're either going to stay here or make your way into that cat's tail again. So you can extend it through the right arm, grab onto the left ankle with the right hand. Again, just an option. Cat's tail for some people is just too intense. They always want you to listen to your body. Just a few breaths. See if you can feel it through moving through the entire body. Then we're going to slowly come back through the center one last time. Gently rocking with the knees from right to left. Drawing the knees in towards your belly, rounding up. Maybe grabbing onto your feet if you have it available. Nice tuck. And then slowly letting it go. Taking the feet straight out, taking the arms overhead. Full body stretch here. Feel the length and the release. And then we'll just come into your final Shavasana. So just drawing your feet nice and wide, maybe even wider than you generally used to. Slowly taking the hands away from the body. I do encourage rolling your shoulders underneath your chest. It really does help with some expansion. And then think about tilting your chin slightly. We tend to keep the chin up. And that actually restricts the airways. Draw the chin in. Just see if that feels better within your body. And then you're welcome to stay in that final resting posture for as long as feels good to you. Just take that moment to thank you for practicing with me today. I do hope you feel more open more relaxed after your yin, and you've let go of some tension. And if that is the case, I encourage you to take that with you off of your mat and into your day. Namaste. I look forward to practicing with you again.